So we're going to do an activity now where I'm going to be showing you a painting and we're going to be doing some role play with it. So here is a painting, and I just want you to look at it for a couple minutes. Go ahead, pause this video, and just think about a couple of different things here. You know, what's going on in this picture? That's really all I'm going to ask of you. So take a pause and just look deeply at this picture for a couple of minutes. Okay, so hopefully you've come back, and what I want to ask now is, what do you see, right? And you know, all of you might bring something different to the table, right? Depending on what connections that you might have to it, right? If I were to tell you this is has a connection to history, in particular American history, you might start to think about a little bit more about maybe what the context of it is. I might ask you, tell me specifically some things that you see. And some people might point out that this person seems to be standing, you know, kind of looks like they're scared. And I might ask why you think that. They're hiding their face. You might notice that this person here is holding a weapon, a gun of some sort, right? You might say, well, this person is looking back in this direction. Other people might point out the color, and the colors are important as well. This person might be like, well, this person is standing and it's very easy to see the white of the skirt, right? Someone else might be like, well, the white here really highlights the young child, etc. So there's a lot of things that we could ask about. But then I would ask you to kind of, you know, in particular, having your students lead the discussion with their answers, but you also leading towards this idea of putting ourselves into these humans that we see on the screen. So what I would do if we were all together is I would say, please get up. And what I want everyone to do is take turns being different people in the picture. And I might make people into pairs, or I might have people do them by themselves. So I'm going to get up out of my seat, and I hope you do as well at your home. All right. So I wore white so that you would be able to see my arms. I am very tall. Got a lot going on here in the background. What I might ask my students is to get up and really kind of get into the same standing position as one of the figures. And I would start off with that central figure in the pink shirt and the white. So you can see she's actually kind of standing with her one foot. You can't see my feet, but my foot is going out this direction. Hopefully you can see a little bit how I'm leaning here. And I'm standing up like this, okay? And if you know anything about yoga poses, you might be saying to yourself, that's a little bit of a warrior pose. Is this some kind of important figure that was a powerful person in our history, right? And that person seems to be really pushing that person forward. You can see in her hands, right? I might ask if they were in partners for the other person to be the person in front, and you can really see, you can see the ribs of him. He's got his arched back, and he's holding that hand down, and he's putting that hand in front of his face, right? He is scared. And I might ask my students to hold that position for just a couple of seconds, seeing what that felt like, right? So we put ourselves, we do a little role play, we get up out of our seats in our classrooms. Now it's that Benjamin Franklin quote, involve me and I learn, right? Involve me and I learn. So I'll tell you a little bit of the cat out of the bag here for you. This is a painting by an artist named Jacob Lawrence. It was created in 1967. It is in the North Carolina Museum of Art in Raleigh. And if I were to tell you this was a famous American figure, central figure there, hopefully some of you may be guessing out there. Let me know if you knew. This is a image of Harriet Tubman, right? Leader of the Underground Railroad. And this is indeed an interpretation of the artist and how he felt it might have looked, right? Obviously, this is a more abstract or interpretive view, right? But I think this certainly could be a great jumping off point to talking about the Underground Railroad in your class, rather just than reading it out of a book. And what just happened there, right, was we used the art, both the visual art here as well as the dramatic arts of role play, in order to learn more about what it would feel like to have been a part of the Underground Railroad, to be Harriet Tubman. So I think this is just one way that we can start to think. And there's lots of many paintings out there, and we're going to be looking at some different ones later on in class. But certainly this kind of interactions can be really powerful. I have this questions here for any visual arts piece, right? I asked some very simple question: what's going on in this picture? What do you see? What does it mean? What does it make you wonder? Those questions can be used every single time, right? And so I want to encourage you, you're going to be writing a lesson plan for me using arts integration and social studies. And obviously this would be a good example of doing both, right? Honestly, that I made it very short, but this could certainly have lasted much longer. It could be an introduction to a lesson, or it could have been the whole lesson itself, right? As kids begin learning about topics in history.